Hey friends, it's Laurie. Thanks for stopping by and let's go make something. I'm starting my first project by using a recycled piece of wood, and it measures 13 inches by 3.5. This piece of wood is pretty smooth, but I'm using a piece of sandpaper just to file down the front and the sides to remove any roughness. And now that I'm done, I'm giving the front and the sides a coat of white acrylic paint. You can always paint the back as well, but my sign's going to be facing the wall, so I'm just painting the front and the sides. Once my sign has dried, I'm going to be attaching some of these poster letters that I found at the Dollar Tree. And instead of the O, I'm going to be using this small silk daisy. I want my flower to sit flat on my sign, so I'm just snipping off the little stem part on the back. Because each of my letters have a different dimension, I'm just kind of eyeballing them into place. If you're more comfortable using a ruler, definitely use that to help you find your placement. My letters have a sticky back, but I'm going to be using a little bit of Mod Podge to help keep them in place. Using my paintbrush, I dabbed a little on the back of my letters and then I pressed them into place. Once all my letters are in place, I'm then using my hot glue gun to attach my daisy. Now that the sign's done, you can leave it as is. I'm going to add on a ribbon accent. I'm using a 1/4-inch buffalo check ribbon that I got at Michael's, but they do sell a similar one at the Dollar Tree. I'm measuring a piece across the top and I'm cutting 2 to size, and then I'm using my hot glue gun and I'm gluing them into place. If you don't have any recycled wood on hand, you can always repurpose one of the signs from the Dollar Tree. You can change up the colors and the flower to match your home decor, and I definitely think when the sign's complete, it has a high-end look. After my top and my bottom ribbon accents are attached, I'm then following the exact same instructions for my 2 side ribbons. I measured the side, I cut 2 ribbons, and then I hot glued them into place. If you want to hang your sign, you can always attach a sawtooth hanger to the back or even hot glue on a piece of wire. With all my ribbon added, my home sign is complete and ready to display. For my second project, I'm using one of the Dollar Tree tinsel bunnies. I'm removing the paper inserts and I'm clipping away the plastic bars. Then, using my clippers, I'm removing the ears from the top of the head. After I clipped them, they were still attached by the tinsel, so I used my scissors and I cut them free. I'm using a children's size yellow spring hat from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be attaching the ears onto the top. I placed some hot glue on the bottom backside of the ear, and then I just attached it to the top of my hat. After my first ear was attached, I then did the same for my second. I'm going to embellish my hat by using some flowers from the Dollar Tree and some that I had in my stash. This part of the project is so easy. All I'm doing is clipping off the back stems from the flowers, and then I'm just randomly hot gluing them in place around the hat. I didn't have any set pattern or design. I just kept adding them around the hat until it was full. After I attached all my flowers, I then added in a few random leaves here and there just to give it a little more of a natural look. With my hat complete, it's now time to make the body for the bunny. I'm using one of the plastic garden dishes from the Dollar Tree and I'm removing all the labels. When I'm done, I'm then spraying the outside part of my dish with my white spray paint. I'm using my glue gun to attach the hat about a third of the way down the dish. With my hat in place, I'm using some of this pretty Dollar Tree Easter ribbon and I'm making a simple bow. I decided how long I wanted my tails, and when I was finished, I fluffed up my bow and then using my hot glue gun, I attached it to the bunny's hat. To finish up, I'm using one of the bunny cottontails from the Dollar Tree. I removed the back clip and then using my glue gun, I attached it to my bunny's body. And with that, my Dollar Tree Easter bunny is complete. To start my third project, I'm using a 7-inch glass vase that I found in the garden department at Dollar Tree. I'm also using one of the Dollar Tree placemats, and this one is 70% PVC and 30% polyester. This placemat is textured with a plastic base, so I'm just cutting off the blue stripe and there's no worry about it fraying. To get my measurements, I'm wrapping my placemat around the end of my vase. When I'm done, I'm making a cut mark with my scissors. Now that I know where to cut, I just folded the placemat in half and I cut along the line. I then rolled my glass along the placemat and I cut off the excess end. To attach my placemat, I'm running a bead of hot glue along the length of the glass, and then I'm just attaching the end to it. I wrap the other end around and attach that with my glue gun as well. Now with it all wrapped, I'm going to embellish it. I'm using 22 small wooden beads and a piece of floral wire that's long enough to wrap around the base. With my wire cut to size, I'm then adding on my 22 beads. Once I have my string of beads, I'm then making sure they fit around the base. Now that I know they fit, I'm twisting together my 2 wires and I'm painting my beads with some light gray acrylic paint. While my small beads are drying, I'm now going to paint 2 medium and 2 large wooden beads. I'm placing a medium and a large bead on a skewer, and I'm painting one parchment and the other dark gray. With my small gray beads now dried, I'm clipping off the excess wire. To attach them, I place some hot glue around the base of my holder, and then I placed my beads over the top and rolled them down into the hot glue. I'm using a 2-inch piece of burlap from burlapfabric.com, and I'll link that company below in case you'd like to check them out. I wrapped it around my container, I cut it to size, and I hot glued it into place. I'm using the same burlap to make a bow, about 3 inches long, and I'm folding it in half 3 times. I'm using a piece of this heavy jute. I'm wrapping it around the center of my bow and tying it into a knot to hold it together. I'm going to be adding on my beads, so I'm leaving about 2 6-inch lengths hanging from the bow. I slipped on my large white and medium gray bead, and on the other strand I slipped on my large gray and my medium white. Carefully, without letting my bead slip off of the jute, I hot glued my bow into place. When I was done, I decided about where I wanted my beads to hang, and then I knotted the end to hold them into place. I cut off the excess jute, and then I did the same thing to the other side. This project is great because it can double as a vase or a candle holder, and that's what I'm going to use it as today. I'm using this Dollar Tree white sand that I had left over, and I'm adding it to my candle holder. To finish up, I'm using one of these Dollar Tree LED candles, and I'm adding it to my holder. And with that, my third project is complete. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you had fun, and if you're new and you think, hey, I'd like to come back and hang out with her again, don't forget to click that little red subscribe button below. I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.